Hi, it is the second part of the first chapter, the Union Parliament of Civics of 10th class. So let's start. So before this, we have discussed about the tenure and the qualification, right? And the Lok Sabha and about the Parliament. So in this video, we'll start with the core. So what is core? It is a term, right, which tells us that if there is a meeting of the Lok Sabha, then minimum members required to be present before meeting is allowed to begin. So if they want to have a meeting, right, and they are not having the whole members there, but at least there is a minimum fixed number that is they should be present there, only then the meeting can be proceed. For example, the total members are 552, right, and 55 members total should be present there, only then a meeting can be held, right. Another example I can give you that if you are 40 students in the class, right, so minimum students 10 students should be there in your class, only then a teacher can teach you, right. So next is salary and allowances. Members of Lok Sabha gets 50,000 and 50,000 salary and allowances of 2,000 rupees per day. And all these salary and the allowances from where they get these things from the consolidated fund. So now what is the consolidated funds, right? Consolidated funds, you can say that it is a account where all the money which we pay as a tax, right, that is there. So from that fund they get their salary and allowances. So privileges of members of the Lok Sabha. Privileges means the benefits and the powers of the members of the Lok Sabha, right? They are having the freedom to speech in the house. That means they can represent themselves, right? There is no foundation that they cannot represent a point or not. Second is freedom from arrest. That means if a person is a Lok Sabha member and if he has done anything wrong, but only in the not in the criminal cases, in civil cases only, right, he's having the freedom from arrest. If for example, if they are going to have a session, right, and before that session 40 days before and after session they cannot be arrested, but only in the civil cases, not in the criminal cases. If he has done any crime, then he will be arrested. So next is can regulate internal affair of houses. If a person is there who is a member of the Lok Sabha, they can regulate internal affairs of the houses. Means if there is any matter, right, between the houses they are discussing, they can regulate that also. Next is freedom from attendance as jurist and the witness, right. So sometime it happens that there are the persons, right, who has done the something wrong, right, and if they are the member of Lok Sabha, they are free to free that there is no foundation for them to go to the court and to be a witness for that. And in the Lok Sabha, which language is used? Hindi and the English. So who is the leader of the Lok Sabha? PM is the leader of the Lok Sabha. How PM is the leader of the Lok Sabha? As we, the common man of the India, choose the member of the Lok Sabha, right? Common man choose the member of the Lok Sabha, and those member choose a person which with the majority, right? It's not like that they just name the person. With the majority they choose a person, right, for the whether the party is in the opposite party or not. With the majority they choose a person to who they think is a better person and as a leader. So PM, that is our PM, so the leader is PM, right. Opposition, who is the opposition in the Lok Sabha? Right, the second largest political party. And the speaker, in the present, Om Birla is a speaker, right, and he is the president officer of the Lok Sabha also. Presiding officer means he also presides and regulates the business of the Lok Sabha and the meetings. And the speaker is assisted by the deputy speaker, right. who is also elected by the Lok Sabha. He is also assisted by, means that if a speaker is not present a day, right, then he will be assisted by the deputy speaker, and he also elected by the Lok Sabha. So now let's talk about the speaker. As I told you that Om Birla are present speaker of India, right? So about the speaker we are going to learn what is the term of office of a speaker. So date of his election till immediately before first meeting of Lok Sabha. That means when the Lok Sabha is elected, on the same date, right, the speaker is chosen, right, until the next meeting. What is the role, powers, and the function of the speaker? So first is regulating the business of the houses. Regulating the business of the houses means he presides over the meeting, right? He regulates that, he checks the meetings and held the meetings. He is the head of the meetings, right? Next is a guardian of rights and privileges of the house. Guardian of the right means if in the meeting they think that something is going wrong, right, and some people are taking the disadvantages of their power, so he is the guardian, so he will stop them. So next is a certify if a bill is money or ordinary bill. So it is in the hand of the speaker to decide whether a bill is a money bill or the ordinary bill. So now here the question is what is the bill? Bill means as we are having the two parts, right, Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. So a bill is present at any house, whether it's a Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. So when a Lok Sabha will pass the bill, that will go to the Rajya Sabha. If the Rajya Sabha will pass that bill also, that bill goes to the president. And if the president will think that it's a good bill and it is very useful in our country, beneficial for the people, then they will pass the bill, and that bill will become the act, right? So like that, certifies a bill is money or ordinary bill. So what is a money bill? Money bill, you can say this is a bill which discusses the budget and the amount, any financial condition or the expenses, right, they comes under the money bill. And there are many other topics in our country to discuss, to do work on, right, they are called the ordinary bills. So in case of tie, right, for example, if Lok Sabha represent a bill, right, in the house, a bill is shown in the Lok Sabha and they pass the bill, but when that bill goes to the Rajya Sabha, but they are not agreed to pass the bill. So you can say that 250 members of Lok Sabha are for it, for to pass the bill, and 250 against, they don't want to pass the bill. So it is in the hand of the speaker that where he wants to cast his vote, because he's having one vote, both are equal, 250 and 250, right? If he will vote to pass the bill, that will become 251, then that bill will be passed. So next is interprets rules of procedure of the houses. He also explained the rules and the procedure, how that process and the meetings will be going on, right? And the decides administrability of questions, resolution, and the motion of adjournment. That means the speaker will decide whether a question which is asked in the meeting by the member is relevant or not, or they are just wasting the time, right? And if he thinks that the atmosphere in the meeting is not comfortable, right, people just indulge in, they are using wrong language to and the topic is much more heated, then he can cancel the meeting also. Second is disciplinary function. That means to maintain the discipline in the house, right? He maintain orders in the house. It's his duty. In indecent words, if he thinks that somebody is using the harsh words towards another, right, he can stop them. And prima facie case, this means that if somebody is representing any topic and the speaker knows before that the fact and the evident, he knows that, right? Anti-defection act of 1985, that I already told you before, that if a person wants to leave a party to go to the another party, it is in the hand of the speaker whether he approve it or not. And the third one is administrative function. So you know what is the administrative, like every company, right, or every you can say setup is having the admin. So he's having the administrative function, that all these things are the administrative powers, right? He is the admin, he is the head. So next is supervisory control over parliamentary committee. That means in parliamentary there are so much topics, right, and the work to do. So what they used to do, they just divide their work. So speaker just supervise that if they are doing their work properly or not. So presides over joint sitting of both houses of parliament. And last is that when the meeting is there, right, of the both houses, Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, when they both joint sitting means on the bill, right? Lok Sabha is agree and Rajya Sabha is disagreed on that, then they are having the joint sitting. Then then the speaker presides, then he will regulate that meeting. Now we will learn about the Rajya Sabha. So in the first video I have already told you that Rajya Sabha is known as the upper house and the council of state, and the member of the Rajya Sabha are chosen indirectly by the member of the houses. So what is the strength of the Rajya Sabha member? It is 250 members can be there in Rajya Sabha, and from which 238 members are elected, right? 29 states and 9 UTs were from this, and 12 member nominated by president, right? This 238 members are elected from 29 states and 9 UT from the country, and 12 nominated by the president. 12 members are nominated. So how they are nominated? These 12 members are nominated by the president as if a person is having the deep skills and has done very good in their field, right? So they can be nominated to the Rajya Sabha member. For example, Sachin Tendulkar, right, Rekha, Khushwant Singh, who was a very good writer. So like that, elected by the MLA of that state. So I already told you that these members are not chosen by the people, they are chosen by the MLA of the state from the house, right? So what are the qualifications we need to be the member of the Rajya Sabha? The person should be the citizen of India. He should be the 30 years old or above that, and he has such other qualifications as may be prescribed by the law. So he must have the qualification which are laws described, right? Next is each member has terms of 6 years. And one more thing here, that Rajya Sabha is a permanent house, right? It is a permanent house. Like Lok Sabha can be dissolved after 5 years, but Rajya Sabha cannot be dissolved after 5 years. But the 1/3 member of the Rajya Sabha, right, after every 2 year, after every two year, 1/3 of the member of the Rajya Sabha, they are chosen again. That means they are having the term of 6 years. So vice presidents of the India is the ex officio chairman of India. So who presides the Rajya Sabha is vice president, who is the he is also known as the ex officio chairman of India. Session twice in a year, like in the Lok Sabha, right? And they are having the 3 sessions, but at least they should have 2 sessions. So like that, Rajya Sabha also should have the 2 session in a year. So what is the quorum? Same as Lok Sabha, 1/10 of member, and the salary is 50,000 and daily allowances of the 2,000 rupees from the consolidated fund. So I already told you that what is a consolidated fund. Consolidated fund, you can say it is an account where when the person pays the tax, Indian person pays the tax, right, all those money goes to that account, and that is known as a consolidated fund. From this fund, all the leaders and the members of the parliament gets their salary. So now we will discuss about the powers and the functions of the Rajya Sabha, right? So first is the legislative powers. That means Rajya Sabha can also make the law. It's not only the Lok Sabha who can represent or make the law, but Rajya Sabha also can make the law. And one more thing, if they will not agree on a bill which is represented by the Lok Sabha, that bill will not be passed except the money bill. Financial power, but same as I told you that he is playing a very important role in the legislative powers, but somehow he is a weak when we talk about the financial powers, because money bill can be just introduced in the Lok Sabha, not in the Rajya Sabha. And after that, when a money bill is introduced in the Lok Sabha, then it is sent to the Rajya Sabha, right? Rajya Sabha can give the suggestion to the Lok Sabha on the money bill, but they cannot change that, right? And it's totally up to the Lok Sabha that if they want to take that suggestion or not, right? And after that, administrative powers, that means they can Rajyas in Rajya Sabha, through the debates and discussion, right? They can check on the powers of the Lok Sabha whether they are doing their work properly or not. And next is the judicial powers. So, like impeach the president, like if they think that the president is not doing the proper work, right? If he has done something which is not in the favor of the country, then they can pass a motion of the impeachment. So next is a pass a special address to remove judge of Supreme Court and the High Court. So if in the same case like the president, if they think that the Supreme Court judges and the High Court judges, they are not doing their duty properly, right? So they can remove them also. So charges against vice president can be level in Rajya Sabha only, right? So if there are charges against a vice president, they can only introduce in the Rajya Sabha, and they can take the decision on that. So next powers are the electoral powers. That means elected members of the Rajya Sabha take part in the election of president and vice president. Electoral powers, as I told you, that there are 12 members which are nominated, right? Which are nominated by the president. So when there will be the question to elect the president or the vice president, only those member will cast their vote who are elected, right? Nominated member will not be